YouTube.
Hey YouTube friends and family, it's your boy GB Reviews. Today I'm doing a special review for you guys. I'm doing the Cadillac XT5. It is the kind of the smaller mid-range size SUV XT5 from Cadillac. It's a moderately priced SUV, and I'll drop the price in the description below. It's a moderately priced car. I've had it for about a week. It's a pretty good buy, I would say, if you like Cadillacs. I'm personally, I am a European car fan, but if you like Cadillacs, it's pretty good. We're gonna go through it. Like I said, I had it for a week, and we're gonna go kind of talk a little bit about some of the features. I don't know a lot about the features. I can drop some of the descriptions in the below, and I can also, I'll give you a link to the Cadillac site so you're gonna look at it. But I'll show you some of the basic things that a layperson would just kind of look at when you are thinking about the car. So with that, let's get at it. When we step into the car, we'll find that, the inside is actually what you would expect from a Cadillac. The inside is actually nice leather. And this one has upgraded sound system, so it has the Bose system installed. What I would say is that it is not a bad car. It is pretty well apportioned. And you can see like the navigation and stuff is actually quite nice. The wood detail inside is actually quite nice, and it's just laid out very well. The stitching here is nice. Again, it's not, to me, not quite as nice as some of the German cars, but it's actually pretty good. The navigation system and the whole MI system is actually really good. It has built-in CarPlay and Google Play, or whatever they call it. So if you plug your phone in directly, now it has to be a wired connection, which I still think they can figure out. But if you plug your phone in directly, it'll pop up and you'll get all the kind of the Apple CarPlay items there, and then things will show up here. It's an analog display with a kind of a digital box at the bottom. It's pretty good. Cadillac does pretty well. This is a kind of powered steering wheel in terms of like moving in and out, up and down, leather wrapped. It's nice. The feel is nice. I've driven a fair amount of miles. This car only has 6,000 miles on it. I think I put like close to 1,000 miles on it, but it's actually pretty nice. The one thing that I'll say about this car that I don't like is that kind of quirky with this, and I don't even understand why they do this. Maybe it's a safety feature. It's like the old European, like the Volkswagens, the stick shift, where you have to go up and then to the right for reverse. But because it's an automatic stock, it makes no sense. But if I wanted to put it in reverse, I have to push this button on the side, I have to move it up, and then I have to move it to the side for it to be in reverse. Now, I think they may have done that in response to like a lot of the deaths that have occurred from cars jumping out of gear. And then you just push park to put it back in park. And then drive is here, but it also has a manual mode, so you can manually shift. It's nice. I think it's pretty good. This part I thought was a bit kind of cumbersome, but I guess this is a forcing function. So you have to, if you want to go in reverse, you have to go up and to the side, and then that kind of keeps you out of the danger zone. Again, I like it. I think the layout is pretty good. The seats are pretty comfortable. They're leather seats. What my brother commented on, and we were riding in it, he said that he found that this seat was not as comfortable as my RS7 seat, and I have sport seats. So that's something to note, because you would think that a car built for comfort should have more comfortable seats than sport seats. But it could be just this layout. But I find the leather also not quite as supple. All right, let me show you the panoramic sunroof. I think that part is amazing. So we're looking at the panoramic sunroof, and I think, like I said, I like cars with panoramic sunroofs. I think that, it gives the passenger a very good driving experience, even if they're in the back. And so we're gonna go look at this. I'm gonna close it. It just controls it right here. And if we close it, if I can figure out how to close it, which I don't. Yeah. You just hold it down. The controls here I find aren't as intuitive. And then it's a pretty the Panoramic here, unlike some of the other cars I've seen, is actually full blackout. So it's not perforated. So when it's closed, it's closed. You don't get any sun. It actually cools the car down quite a bit. When it's open though, I think it's only a slight tint on the sunroof. I'm going to open it on the Panoramic sunroof, but it basically gives you full on sun. So it's like a very light tint. It's not in my old Q7. The tint was actually dark. So even though you didn't have even though it had perforations when it was closed, it was actually pretty good. But this is like, let me tell you, it's as you can see, my head's all shiny and shit because the sun. Oh, sorry about the cursing, but the sun is actually pretty bright on it. But it's nice, and then when you open it, it goes all the way back, and then you can tell it's tinted. So people say, "Oh, it's not tinted." No, but it's much brighter on my head when I open it, and then to close it, it's just same thing. And when you're opening and closing it, just like most car sunroofs, if the screen on the top is closed, it'll open everything up. Let's get in the back and see how much room it is. Remember, I'm set for 6'4" in the front, my driving position. We're gonna jump in the back. We're gonna look and see what it looks like jumping in the back. All right. We're in here. So I'm gonna turn it around, and then you're gonna see. But look, it's pretty nice in the back. I'm sitting here. I just want you to see my knees. So I didn't change the seating position. My knees are up against. If I sit straight up, it's good. If I sit more comfortable, I can spread my legs. It's not so bad. I could probably ride on a long-ish trip, 3 or more hours in here. 8 or more hours, I probably have a difficult time. You have individual controls back here. The seats are perforated, so they have heating and cooling seats in the back as well as in the front. And I think that's a nice touch. You know, Cadillac does a pretty good job. You saw on the seats in the front, Cadillac logo. On the back, they do not have the Cadillac logo, which I think is a bit cheesy considering it doesn't really take much to stamp the logo on it. It's not too bad. You know, I'm gonna flip it around so you can see exactly how much room I have. So you see how much room I have. My headroom is cool, like literally cool. You guys see my sons. They have big hair. The hair would hit, but the heads definitely would not hit. My head I have a pretty good amount of room. You see right here, I am in here, and I'm pretty comfortable. Like, this car, it's not bad. And for the price, it's definitely a good buy. I mean, compared to some of its European contemporaries. The power I thought was good, things like that. The drivability, the Apple CarPlay, there are things that are just, I mean, Cadillac is just doing it really well. And I would say, I'm gonna give a shout out to American car manufacturers. They've actually done much better in terms of trying to design interiors that look luxury, on par with some of the kind of the European and Italian offerings. So this is actually pretty good. Like I said, I find the leather not as supple. It's probably like a less expensive cow leather or whatever. But that being said, the car's pretty good. So let's get into the trunk, because I want you to see the trunk space. Then we'll look at the engine. It's probably covered like on the other ones, but I want you to see it. Let me know what you think. And then, like I said, in the back, if you're in the back, see what I'm talking about with the panoramic roof, the passenger experience in the back. If the roof is open, is actually quite nice, especially at night, or if you're running around like when I'm in Washington. It's nice because you get to see some of the monuments, things like that at night. It's really cool. I'm currently in Savannah, so if you're riding some of the tree-lined drives, it's also a cool experience because you see the trees, the live oaks with the moss. It's, you know, panoramic sunroofs, I think, are the way to go. I think more car manufacturers are doing it just because it's a much better driving experience. I would imagine probably in the next 10, 15 years, they'll come where, you know, even the side pillars are clear just because it's just a much better riding experience. All right, we're gonna jump in the back. I'm not gonna go on anymore. All right, let's do that. Some of the cars actually have a foot sensor. This one does not. I thought it did, but it doesn't. But if they have a foot sense, you hit right here, and then the trunk will open, which I'm gonna open now, and then it's automatic. And you can see it's pretty large on the inside. I mean, I'm gonna jump in here like I always do, but you're gonna see like it's actually pretty nice on the inside. So let's jump in. All right, so we're getting inside. I mean, this is huge. I'm inside. You can take this part out and you can fold the seats down so you have more trunk space. I'm actually full in here, no problem. Like I said, 6'4", 250 pounds. I'm in here. I'm in like Flynn, right? And the headroom is not bad. It's about 6 feet of headroom. If I'm in, I can actually stand all the way up. It's about 6 feet of headroom. So unless you're extremely tall, you won't hit your head. And that's it for the back. It's a, standard SUV. Let's go to the front, check out the engine. All right, I have to say, this engine is pretty clean, and I think the reason it is pretty clean in terms of not clean as in clean looking, but clean in terms of the way of the layout, because you can get a V8 model of the engine, which is a larger engine, 4-wheel drive, and see because you can put a bigger engine inside this engine bay, there's actually a lot of room. So for that, it just makes this V6 just look so tiny in the engine compartment. It's just super nice. It's so interesting. Because I'm just so used to German cars and how everything is so covered. American cars just make things so much more simple when you're actually trying to get to things. So if you wanted to be a do-it-yourselfer, I think this would be the car for you if you wanted to do that. I mean, there's still a lot of computerized parts to it, but I think this just makes it easier because you don't have to like jack it up. I mean, I can reach all the way down to some of the things in there just from here. But again, that's the V6. I think the V8 would be different, but this is a clean car. That's it for my review today. Not a lot to say. I like it. I mean, I could have gone more into detail, but again, I've only had it for a week, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick down and dirty to show you that the Cadillac, XT5 is actually a nice SUV if you're looking for an affordable one. The XT5, like, it reminds me of a little bit of the Q7 and the X5 Cross, and had a baby, and then this would be the baby. But again, check it out. Oh, I forgot to tell you, 20-inch rims. I don't really like the chrome, but these are 20 inches. If you go up to 21, I think standard it comes with 18s or 19s. It's pretty cool. Again, Cadillac, for me, I always think of old people or older people driving them, just like Mercedes. I think of older people driving them just because they're more like stately and elegant, but not my cup of tea. I'm still into like sport looking cars, so BMWs and Audis. But anyway, it's your boy GB Reviews. I'm not gonna review anymore. I'm in Savannah, by the way, and you might like the live oaks. I'll explain maybe about the location later, but Savannah, cool, love it. Eugenia Cemetery, it's just a nice environment, and they have a kind of a driving path here, so that's why I kind of put a car in here, because I think it's just nice. It reminds me of just Savannah. Anyway, it's your boy GB Reviews. I'm out. Subscribe and like below. Thanks.
Subscribe, but like below.